Spring training alert. Are you sick of the first base job? So are we. So let's talk about something else.
That's right, Brad. Let's worry about Troy Tulowitzki's slow start and Aaron Hicks' back injury.
Yeah, it's two areas of concern that we want to know if we should be concerned about. I'm sure we all have different opinions. So let's get right into it. So we're at the rip. What's going on with Tulowitzki?
Well, the Yankees have played 19 spring training games as of today, and Tulo has kind of looked out of sorts.
You can say that.
He's not. Now the last couple of games he's gotten a couple hits. And he's starting to make better contact. You gotta understand, Tulowitzki's been out of the game for over a year. His timing's not quite there. I think the adrenaline was pumping his first couple of games, so that's why he was able to hit a couple home runs and make the Yankees Twitterverse go crazy. But that's kind of caught up to him. Things kind of slowed down. They've kind of gotten back into things, and now he's kind of struggling a little bit. I'm not too worried about it, though, Brad. I really am not. He's a professional.
Okay. Yeah, and I apologize. I'm just looking now. I went way off script. You're supposed to talk Aaron Hicks first. I had Tulo and Hicks in my head, and I just went with one. But anyways, yeah, Tulowitzki, I believe in Aaron Boone when he says it's a timing issue, because it really is. The guy was out of baseball for an entire season last year. His swing looks good. His fielding looks good. He's got the right attitude. So the only thing that's left is just get his timing down. And you got to expect a guy with as much success in his career as him, he's going to end up getting that timing. Now, the only thing that might concern me is it a timing issue because he can't get around as fast as he can with his bat? I don't know. And I know that's what a lot of teams' concerns were with him. Could he still swing the bat as quick as he used to? But I'm not worried yet. I think come opening day, or maybe not opening day, but beginning of the season, he'll find it.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Like you said, his fielding is looking pretty good. He's made some pretty slick plays out there at shortstop. Well, fortunately for him, that is one of the few things that he can work on. In preparation for this season, he was able to practice fielding, and
right.
You can do that. You can't face live pitching all the time, especially with the quality of pitchers that you face in the major leagues. You won't get that until you're in a game situation. Now, the quality of pitchers he will start facing from here on out will be a little bit better, and he'll be facing the same guy one or two times each game he plays. So you might see him make adjustments mid-game. It's a little bit different, too, at the beginning of spring training, because he might get 2 or 3 at-bats to start off, and each at-bat might be against a different guy. Now pitchers are getting stretched out, so he'll actually be able to make mid-game adjustments, and I'm really not worried about it.
Yeah, sometimes you're facing pitchers from a team that aren't even in the major league, so you really don't know anything much about them. It's a completely different area. Now, I know we sound kind of like hypocrites because some guys are paying attention to how they're doing. Other guys, like Tulowitzki, we're not really judging. But I think at Tulowitzki, because of his circumstances and because we really need Tulowitzki to be good, I think that's why we're exercising a little patience here with him.
Absolutely. So I would expect him to be pretty average, barring injury. All will be fine. Like I said, he's a professional hitter. He'll figure it all out.
So what about the other guys that are struggling then? We got Clint Frazier, DJ LeMahieu. What do you think about them?
LeMahieu, I'm not too concerned about. I mean, he is changing leagues, and he did play in Coors for the first part of his career. So maybe being in a different, coast is kind of having an effect on him. It will take him a little time to adjust. But he's a professional hitter. He's a professional fielder. He's been able to play defense. He played first base today against the Blue Jays. He didn't get any hits. He went 0 for 3. But, he's been able to play defense, and that's really why they signed him. The hitting will come around, just like all these other guys that are struggling, all these other professional hitters. The hitting will come around.
They signed him for his defense because the Yankees are desperately in need of good defense.
And he's a Gold Glover.
He is a Gold Glover, but he's also, if you look at his past, he's actually been very good average hitter, and that's another thing the Yankees need. So because of that, I'm going to say that he will be okay hitting wise, and he's just been perfect in the field. So it's a plus right there.
Now, Clint Frazier is a completely different story. He came into camp with hopes of winning a job. Now, Boone kind of told him, back off there, Sparky, because really there's really no place for him outside of an injury in the big leagues right now. So I think maybe Boone telling him that is kind of messed with his psyche, because he's a high energy guy, and he likes to be all out all the time. So I think being told to pump the brakes, even by Nick Swisher, because he's very outspoken, like Swisher was when he played. So I think being told to tone it down a little bit, maybe kind of, mess with his head a little bit. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. The bat speed's still there. I've watched a couple of his at bats recently. He hits the ball hard. He's just hitting it right at people. He's got some tough luck, at bats there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think when we talked about last time, or a couple episodes ago. In spring training, I look more like how the ball's coming off the bat. The results aren't as important as is he squaring up the ball. The problem with Clint Frazier is he's, like you say, he's a very emotional guy. He's kind of, I hate to say it's in his head because of his head issues last year. I don't want to make light of that, but I mean, guy can be a little bit high, and I actually like it. I actually don't like the Yankees telling him to tone down. I let the guy be who wants to be. The Yankees don't have any bad guys on their team. They don't have any characters on the team. They need something like that. They need like a Nick Swisher on their team.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I say they should just let him be himself, and he might still become himself, but I don't like them at telling him to tone down. But yeah, I think Clint Frazier, from missing so much time last year and being a minor leaguer before that, I think he was kind of destined to start the year in the minors, even though he's had the right attitude. I mean, coming in taking Gardner's job,
So what they should have done with him is not tell him he wasn't making the team. I think they needed him to play hard,
right?
Because that is a confidence booster for him, and it also shows the fans and the team that he's not giving up. I think that was a little premature on Boone's part. The other thing, even though he should be playing to make the team, because all these guys should be playing to make the team.
Yeah.
Regardless of if they got a spot sewed up or not, they should always be playing to make the team.
We want to be that first guy that gets called up too if there's any issues.
Right, exactly. But the thing that they should be doing with him is what they should have done with Greg Bird last year, is put him in AAA, let him get his timing back, let him get comfortable again and get confidence, and then bring him up. They should not have done. They should have done that with Greg Bird last year, and they did not. And I think that's a big reason why there's this whole first base competition right now, because they rushed him back.
They did. Well, we'll get to that, but we've already been there. But anyways, with Greg Bird, he should be in AAA, and they screwed that up last year big time.
Mm-hmm. So now let's talk about Bird and Voit real quickly, because they are both playing really good baseball right now, and the thing that really ticked me off. And Boone's done this a couple times this preseason, this offseason, this spring training, whatever, is he's made these kind of these like foggy comments. I don't know if foggy's not the right word, but like
he's like subtle comments.
Very subtle. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Subtle comments where it's like, well, I don't really see this as a competition. The right guy will win the job. It's clearly a competition. Shut up.
That's what it is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same thing with Clint. I don't really see him fitting into the plan. Don't say that. You're because your players will feed off of that. And having now I'm not saying I was a great player myself, because I wasn't, but playing the game and having your coach say something about you to the media, not that anything has ever been said about me to the media, but I feel like that would be a big hit to my confidence. So even if I come in and say, oh, I'm expecting to compete for this, the media is also saying, oh, well, this is going to be this big competition. And then you downplaying and saying, oh, it's not really. And that, I think that to me kind of is like, well, geez, did you really already have your mind made up before you even saw me play?
Right.
It's off-putting.
But Boone is not very good at kind of filtering his own comments, and I guess it's a good thing he's not on Twitter, right?
Yeah, right. So with that said, Bird and Voit, they were off today. So coming into tomorrow's game, Bird is hitting 357 so far, which is really good.
Yeah.
And Voigt's hitting 280, which is solid. They both are pretty even in the offensive stat categories. So right now, there's no real clear cut. If you were looking at it from a pure competition standpoint and ignoring Aaron Boone's comments, they're pretty even. And
I think the difference is going to be how they fit with the team. And right. I don't know if that's where you're going now, but we talked about this earlier in the day, and I think the reason why Boone is making these comments about for the first base job is that they know they want the kind of player that Luke Voit is in their locker room to start the season, because he helped elevate that team at the end of the last year with just his energy alone and just his personality. And I think the fans feed off it too, and I think that's what they want, rather than a very quiet, reserved Greg Bird. They're two polar opposites.
They really are. And I told you, you brought that up earlier. We were texting, and I told you, doesn't he remind you of a Melky Cabrera a little bit?
Yeah,
he's a spark plug. He's got the energy, and that's great. And don't get me wrong, I really like Luke Voigt. I really do, and I really like Greg Bird, and I would love to see both of them make the team again. And I've said this a number of times on Twitter, and I've had people call me out on it. And you know, Boone has hinted that only one of these guys is going to make the team. So that's another one of those comments where I was just like, come on, really? Let them play. Don't add one more thing for them to have in the back of their mind. Oh, well, only one of us is going to make the team. You know, let them play with the impression that they have a chip on their shoulder, that they're trying to both make the team, that they can both make the team, but they want the starting job. That's the prize in all of this. And that's what they should be focusing on, not which one's going to be cut or which one's going to be sent to AAA. You know, those are the kind of things that, because Boone's inexperienced, that he'll probably learn along the way. But like I said, I'm pulling for Bird only because he's a left-handed hitter. The Yankees don't have any left-handed hitters. He's got a really sweet swing. And if he's on, he's hitting to all fields, which is something that a lot of left-handed hitters, especially in Yankee Stadium, don't do. And Bird can do that if he's playing well. And I would love to see him fit into that Yankees batting order between Stanton and Sanchez, or Judge and whoever they got in the top of the order.
Yeah.
Somewhere between those two righties, at least until Didi comes back. Because they need that. And Hicks can't do that for you all the time because Hicks can hardly stay healthy. So you need someone that, if Bird is able to stay healthy, you need that left-handed power bat. And I think Bird is the right choice, in my opinion. But if they went with Voigt, it wouldn't be a wrong decision either. Because he does have the energy and he can play.
So this is one of the situations where it's weird because, yes, I want Bird to win the job because it's good for the lineup. But I'd almost be happy to be wrong. Or it's weird because I'd be happy to be disappointed. Because if Voigt makes a team, he's just such a likable guy that I actually wouldn't be disappointed. Luke Voigt also hits the ball to all fields, which the Yankees love. He likes going to right field. And ground balls, I think Greg Bird still hits it to the right side a lot. And actually not having a lot of lefty hitters on the Yankees lineup, actually, someone brought this up on Twitter a long time ago, is that the Yankees are actually a very hard team to shift on, which is kind of nice because they don't have the only lefty hitter they'll have is Hicks and Gardner, and neither one of them are dead pull hitters in the infield. Greg Bird kind of is. But either way, Greg Bird in between those guys, like you said, would be a perfect fit. But I would not be disappointed, and I actually would be kind of happy. It's disappointed. It's a weird mix of emotions. It
is because you'd hate to see Bird sent down because of all the struggles he's gone through. You'd like to see something good happen for the guy, right? But
you kind of want to see the guy go to AAA and have a lot of success just to get his confidence
and then
back,
come back hot. Yeah, I completely agree with that. But if he's hot right now and he's hitting the ball and he's able to do it to all fields, I would say you got to go with the lefty. But again, like I said, like you said, if Voigt comes out of spring training and he's the starting first baseman, I'm upset for Bird because he didn't succeed, but I'm happy for Voigt because he did. Yeah. And he's like you said, he's a very likable guy. So
yeah,
there you go. That's our take on the first base situation. And that's the last you'll hear of it for a while until they name the starter, probably, unless something crazy happens. With that said, speaking of Aaron Hicks, because you mentioned him a couple minutes ago, he is dealing with some lower back pain. Aaron,
yes,
I can totally sympathize with you right now. I am dealing with some back pain myself. Except the big difference between you and me is you're actually good at baseball and you're making $70 million.
Craig's on the DL of his softball team. That's a big deal.
Yeah, they're hurting right now. We're trying to make a playoff run here.
Yeah, they still paying you?
Not anymore. I've been slumping. It's not pretty. I'm not the same guy I used to be. Anyways, so like I said, Aaron Hicks has been dealing with some lower back pain. He hasn't played in the game since March 2nd. He's only played 4 spring games, and he hurt it during batting practice. So as of Sunday, he was stretching and doing some minor baseball activities, and Monday they gave him a cortisone shot in his back. So, Brad, is this a cause for concern? Should Yankee fans and the Yankees be worried that their their star center fielder might not be ready by opening day?
I am. All right. And I could be completely wrong because I'm not a doctor, but I do know that back pain is not something that goes away very quickly at all, if at all. And you're talking about a guy who swings very hard, who plays position where you're running the most out of the outfield. He has a cannon for an arm. That's all these things are putting a lot of torque on that back. And if you're coming into the season already getting a cortisone shot because of how bad it's hurting you, it's just going to get worse as the year goes on. And Yankees don't have a very great backup plan for center field. It's going to be Gardner, and we all know how old he is. He's more than capable of playing center field, but he's not the center field you want out there. And then you're going to hear people complain because they didn't go after Harper because of this. But you can't plan on these things happening. All right, so you can't be mad at that. But I am very concerned about Hicks staying in the lineup this season.
Mm-hmm. He dealt with some injuries last year too. He is somewhat injury prone. I wouldn't say Ellsbury.
Oh, Ellsbury's going to come save the day. You didn't know that?
But no,
he's coming
I'm
this
saying
weekend.
Like, he's not like always injured. He's not the glass man like Ellsbury. He plays and he plays hard. But like you said, he plays a very physically demanding position. He's going to be at the top of the order. He bats from both sides of the plate, so you're getting torque in both directions. He has a very jerky batting stance. He's a lot of movement there, a lot of running, and like I said, I'm dealing with back problems too, and I've been dealing with this for 2 weeks, and it still hasn't gone away. It's going to take a while for something like that, even with a cortisone shot. So I'm slightly worried in the sense that he's not ready, but if he can come back and if he manages to stay healthy the rest of the year, then this will be a moot point by come September.
Now, what would we all? I think every Yankee fan out there in the country would have to put a fist in their own mouth if Ellsbury comes back this coming weekend, I should say, and is this opening day center fielder and plays well. I mean, I never understood that. We all don't like. We all not just don't like, but we all are down on Ellsbury because of all his injuries. Okay, but. Mm-hmm. Don't you want him to succeed? If you're paying this guy all this money, don't you want him to play well? I feel like people would be booing him at Yankee Stadium even if he played well.
I have a feeling you're right. And you're also right in the sense that you should be hoping that Ellsbury comes back. We're stuck with him, whether we like it or not.
You're paying him. Let him play good.
And the Yankees aren't just going to and they're not just going to eat 20 whatever $1 million he's making this year. So he's going to play.
Blue Jays
if he's healthy, if he's healthy, he's going to play. So if he's in the lineup, you root for him, and you root for him to do well. He's still going to be a fast guy. He's still going to be able to play center field. He's still going to get on base. And if he's healthy, he's still going to hit for 260, 270, and that's what you want. You want a center fielder that can at least do that, at least while your starting center fielder and Hicks is out. So
yeah,
I'm with you, Brad. I hope Ellsbury comes out of nowhere, and he just shuts everybody up and plays really well and builds up his value. And then we can trade him.
I've actually never been more excited to get Ellsbury back in the lineup because I do think this is going to be a ongoing situation with Hicks throughout the season.
Now, if Hicks is dealing with this injury, and Ellsbury and Gardner are able to stay healthy, I would see a platoon in center between Ellsbury and Gardner, with Stanton playing a little bit more left field than he did last year, at least until Hicks can prove that he can stay healthy. But, another option would be Clint Frazier, but we just talked about him, and I really don't see him playing center fielder. He's more of a right fielder, left fielder type of guy. So, can Aaron Judge play center field?
He said he could.
He's talked about it. He's a very good defensive player. He's got long legs, so he doesn't have to run very fast.
But as a Yankee fan, I don't want Judge wearing himself down, running around in center field every game.
Nope, because we want to have him healthy so we can make that 10-year offer to him to be the face of the franchise and to be the next captain and to be the guy that everyone talks about as a first ballot Hall of Famer. So
and then the other option is Florio, who has an amazing spring, and I'm so excited about that. But I still think he's got a long ways to go because he hasn't played above single A ball yet in his career.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. He's having a fantastic spring. He's hitting well over 300. He's got the wheels. He's got the glove. He can hit for contact. He can hit to all fields. He showed a little flash of power. I'm excited. Maybe not.
But did you know when Melky Cabrera got called up to the major leagues, he had never played above single A either?
I did not know that.
I found that out today.
Well,
so
that's
happen.
encouraging. It could happen, and maybe that's a reason why they have him still around with the getting at bats, because he had 4 at bats today, or 3 at bats today.
Has Melky signed anywhere?
Yeah, he's with the Pirates.
I would like him back.
I know you would. He's the one that got away, Brad. He's
my boy. We traded away from some loser from Arizona.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited for Florial. I think he could be. And if you watched the game the other night when they played the Orioles, Bernie Williams actually stopped by in the booth.
Yeah.
With
Willie Randolph.
Willie Randolph, yeah. And I love listening to them talk. I just love listening to all the stories.
That's a great booth right there.
Yeah. So they were actually comparing Florial to a young Bernie Williams, which should only excite Yankee fans.
Oh yeah.
Because if he turns out anywhere near Bernie Williams, that's a blessing right there. And that's your center fielder of the future. And maybe that's why they didn't sign someone like Harper for 13 years and $330 million.
Yeah.
So
speaking of Florial, you want to just do these quick hits real quick? Who's actually been playing good? We've done so much down news,
I know,
bad
right?
news. Let's start about some good news.
So go ahead.
Go ahead. Go for it.
All right. Well, Brett Gardner.
You like reading from scripts.
I do. Brett Gardner's been on a tear to start the season. In 18 at bats, he's batting .444. He's slugged 3 home runs, and he's been chatting it up in the dugout there with Judge. I think they're competing to see who hits more home runs in the spring, probably in the season too. But I'm excited to see Gardner hit well to start the spring, and hopefully he can carry that into the season. I'd love to see him silence a lot of the doubters, thinking that he doesn't belong back on this team. It'll be good to have Gardner full steam ahead.
Yeah.
Another guy that's been hitting really well, and this should be no surprise because he should have won Rookie of the Year last year, Miguel Andujar. I think he took an offer today.
He did. He had a rough game today.
Yep, but he's been hitting so well that only dropped his batting average down to 400.
Only 400.
It's just a clear indication. He hasn't hit a home run yet, and he only has 2 RBIs, but he's been getting on base, getting line drives, base hits, doubles, doing what he was doing last year.
I don't need him to hit home runs. I don't want him to hit home runs. Just hit doubles. Just what you did last year.
Yep, I want a guy. Him and Glaber should not be hitting home runs. They should both be hitting for contact, getting on base. They have Judge, Stanton, everyone else in that lineup, Sanchez, Boynton, Bird. They can all hit home runs. Get on base, get your on base percentage up, and be on base for those guys who drive in. Judge, he went 0 for 4 last night against the Phillies, but he has 7 hits so far, and all 7 hits have been extra base hits. That's crazy, right?
I mean,
he has not had
power.
a single.
We all know that. He has power.
Yep. He's tweaked his swing. He's got no stride in his stance this year.
That front foot, yeah.
Yep. He's trying to cut down. And this is what I love about Aaron Judge. He's making a
cut back in the strikeouts.
Conscious effort to cut down on the strikeouts, and because that's his bugaboo, and that's what everyone wants to bring up when they talk about Aaron Judge being one of the best players in the league. Well, what about all the strikeouts? Well, he's doing something about it. And I really hope he's able to cut him not in half, but maybe down to 3/4. Because
the major leagues analytics, whatever you want to say, are telling these guys even with 2 strikes, they should not change their swing. They should still be trying to hit the ball with launch angle. He is actually going reverse, and he's actually cutting down the swing with 2 strikes. He wants to make contact with 2 strikes, and I love it. That's what the Yankees need.
That is a baseball player right there. That is someone who is making adjustments to better themselves. This talk about people not adjusting and learning how to go opposite field to combat the shift is ridiculous. And Aaron Judge is one of those guys that would see where they're playing them, and he would learn how to not hit where they're playing him. And like you said, they can't really shift on Aaron Judge because when he's on, he's hitting home runs to right center field as a right-handed hitter.
Right.
But I'm excited to see Judge healthy for a full season, just like he was 2 years ago. I'm really hoping he can put up 40, 50 home runs. Him and Stanton, I'm really excited for Stanton to have another second season here in the American League. Speaking of Stanton, he's heating up.
He's had a couple bombs.
Bombs. So that's a good sign. With him starting to hit home runs in the spring and now his batting average is up to 320 this spring. I mean, again, these are all small sample sizes, but it's exciting to see these guys starting getting their timing down, starting to hit bombs. I would really love to see Stanton shut everybody up because he's kind of like the black sheep of the Yankees right now. Everyone's
Which
making
is weird. You look at his
such a
stats from
good
last
player.
year. He had a great year, and he carried the Yankees while Judge was out, and they still say it was a down year for him, and it drives me nuts.
Yep. He had such a good year the year before when he won MVP that everybody was expecting him to duplicate that season. And with that kind of expectations, going into a new league, a new team, coming off of a trade is just absurd. So this is going to be a monster season for him and for Judge. If they can stay healthy, I'm just like licking my chops, ready to see all the home runs and doubles that these guys are going to hit.
They have to stay healthy.
They have to stay healthy.
Yeah, and the better that other guys in the lineup do, like if Sanchez can get back to his normal self, Torres and Andujar now in their second year, if they do even better, that's only going to take the pressure off Judge and Stanton more, and I think they'll do even better.
Absolutely. Now you talked about Stanton carrying the team through the Judge injury. Pair him with Andujar because Andujar hit as soon as he came up and hit at the end of the season, except for the playoffs. But
it's a rookie,
right? But that's a good thing. What I want to see is him hit more, focus on hitting doubles again. And then the other thing I want to see from Torres is the same thing. These guys they're not your prototypical power hitters, and they shouldn't be. They can let them hit 20 home runs, but they should be your on base guys. They should be your contact hitters. They should be hovering around 300.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
the Yankees don't really have anyone to hit 300.
I would love to see a guy in the Yankees finish the year with a 300 average.
And that's why they signed LeMahieu. But I think because he's going to be shifting positions so much this year, he's going to be like Neil Walker was last year, and I think it's going to take him a while to adjust, especially since he's coming over.
Unfortunately, that's what it looks like. He's a big dude. I didn't realize how big he was.
Yeah, I think he's like 6'4", but he's svelte. So
he's big guy.
Yep. So with that said, that kind of wraps up our talk about the position players, right? We didn't skip anything here.
No, we're good.
Nope.
Next time on Yankee Chatter, make sure you check out the next episode. We're going to be talking about pitchers and how they're doing in spring training. That's
right. It's all about the bullpen. So make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Going through the whole routine again here. Find us on all the socials. Just search Yankee Chatter, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and iTunes as well. Same thing, Yankee Chatter. Keep it simple. And check out the website. All the content in one spot, or links to where to get to the other stuff. It's great. So with that said, do it. Click that link. But honestly, my name is Greg Andriano. That's not a lie. You can find me at GregAndriano05 on Twitter.
And I'm Big Brad McCormick. I'm
right.
big, really. I'm kind of need to lose a little weight. And I'm at RadderChatter1 on Twitter. Thanks again for watching. And like I said, stay tuned for episode 15. We'll do pitchers in spring training, and then another episode after that, we're getting to all these new rules the MLB's doing. Exciting stuff happening here at Yankee Chatter.
So much.
Packed with content.
All right. Well, go Yanks.